I think that the competition part has been fantastic. And the thing about at least I found so far with the people I ride with is there's not even any shaming. Like typically if we work out together, like I say in the weight room, and you're not doing what everyone else is doing, you're going to get made fun of, right? It's just kind of the way it is, right? But like I think we all realize that we all started out pretty bad. And so when guys, don't do as good as you think, or they don't do as well today, like there's no mocking. It's like, wow, good job, buddy. Cause it was hard. And I found that very, not comforting is probably the wrong word, but just like nice about riding with people so far.
It's more than just your output, more than a bike. When you hear your shout out, you know it's all right. Put on your magic pants and let's go. We're cruising into the power zone. Clip in, set yourself free. Come on and take a ride with me. Know what you need to know and what's it all about. Everything you need, it's on the Clip Out.
Welcome to the Clip Out, episode 156. This is Crystal O'Keefe.
And this is Tom O'Keefe. Hi.
Hi.
I'm adjusting. I have new glasses on.
Oh, I didn't even know they were new.
Well, so I just have my readers down here, but these are
are these your two tones?
These are my bifocal readers. So when I look over the top, you are clear, or should I say crystal clear.
Aw.
And then when I look through the bottom, I can read my computer.
Oh, so you don't even have to move your head. Because before you were like...
Yeah, I had to look over them like I was a cranky librarian. What?
I just want to get you a little chain. Remember we had that very nice lady on who has her own serious show, Ginny Hutt, and then she had the bunny eyes, that you could open them and lay on your side in bed reading. Maybe you ought to think about those.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Little product placement.
Yeah.
So it's not even shameless plugs yet.
No, because that was unpaid for.
That was unpaid for. So what, pray tell, do you have in store for people this week?
Well, we're going to talk about Peloton's head of marketing stepping down. We're going to talk about a new subscriber milestone, revisit that mysterious green badge that we now all know the answer to. We're going to officially announce the tonal winner, talk about some presents we got in the mail, and, stuff like that.
Awesome. Well, before we get to all that, shameless plugs. Don't forget we're available on Apple Podcasts, where you can go there and subscribe and never miss an episode. While you're there, you can also leave us a review. We have a new review.
Oh, yay. Who's it from?
Sorry, I was looking. I'm adjusting to my bifocals. Settle down.
All right. I got excited. I thought you liked enthusiasm. I was just being enthusiastic.
This is from OMG Pop 1027.
Wow. 1027.
And it says...
I wonder if their birthday's October 27th.
That would be my guess.
Okay.
This says, my Friday morning coffee. The Clip Out is a great way to kick off my Friday mornings going into the weekend. I love 40-something Tom, 14-year-old Tom, and Crystal. Me
too.
This is the only place you can get real updates and hear from real Pelotonians. I love hearing from guests and getting perspectives that lead me to trying other classes. This is a great way to keep up with the Peloton family and culture. Keep up with the hard work, and I'll see Crystal on the leaderboard. And their leaderboard name is Sailor Moon.
Oh, yes, I know Sailor Moon.
But with a Y, SAYLOR.
Yes.
Moon. Not like the anime.
Yes.
So, well, thank you very much.
That was a very nice review. Thank you so much.
And now with the name like Sailor Moon, I'm picturing that when she got done, she was like, tee.
that was my graphic appearing above my head with my emoting.
So and then also you can find us on Facebook, facebook.com/theclipout. While you're there, like the page, join the group. It's a great way to stay up to date on things throughout the week, or get posts about, if you are in the group, maybe you already know who won the tonal because we announced it there.
Yeah.
Get, notifications about Zoom calls, all sorts of things like that. And then, of course, sign up for our newsletter at theclipout.com so you can have all the show notes and links and pictures and articles sent directly to your inbox so you don't have to go hunting for them. Just makes your life...
even sent it out this week.
How about that? So there is all that. I guess let's dig in, shall we?
We shall.
It's time for News of the Peloton.
So according to the headlines, the head of marketing has been ran out of town on a rail.
I mean, that is what the headline said.
And then you read the article,
And it's like, oh, she's having a baby.
Yeah.
Well, there's that.
But on a rail.
I mean, it's, important to note, it wasn't that long ago that Peloton's marketing, and very specifically, Carolyn Tish Blodgett, was winning an award. I don't remember what they call it anymore, but like they got an award for their amazing marketing campaign last year.
Right.
And so now, whenever you have a headline that's like, VP out, Peloton's head of marketing is stepping down.
Yeah,
Makes it sound like she did something wrong.
Yeah, it was like on the heels of something. Like
on the heels of strong membership growth, Peloton's head of marketing is stepping down.
Yeah, like dun dun dun.
They grew so much, they don't need her. Well, and essentially when it was on heels of our conversation about how they're spending $0 on marketing, it's like, oh yeah, and she's out.
Makes it sound like they're just like, get rid of the whole marketing department.
We don't need them.
We're all done.
And I don't think that's true.
We're all marketed up.
Consider us marked.
Yes. But yeah, so congratulations to her.
Yeah, congratulations. And we hope everything with your new baby goes well. And, maybe you should come on the show. You could dish all the Peloton secrets. You're not going to be a Peloton employee anymore, Carolyn. Just saying, might be a good place to dish.
My guess is she still has stock that she wants to
good
do.
Point, good
okay.
Point.
So
she's not going to hear this anyway.
Yeah, probably not. She's like, I don't work there anymore. I'm not sitting through that.
I was just putting it out there in case it somehow made it to her.
Yeah. I don't have to pay attention to these two nut jobs anymore. And then also this is marketing related. Peloton hit a subscriber milestone.
Yep. We are over 1 million officially subscribed.
Wow.
Yeah. It was just like in March, they were like at 876,000. So that's a lot of growth.
Yes. Quite a bit.
Yeah. Congrats to Peloton. That is quite a number.
Yeah, it's I think, obviously they were doing well before coronavirus, but boy, this really just turbocharged it.
Yeah, I think it really accelerated everything,
Yeah.
like everything going with gyms, everything with Peloton. I think it's been a huge boon. I think every other connected fitness platform ought to give Peloton a big thank you.
Right.
Because had it not been for Peloton, then none of this would be happening right now.
None of it.
So, yeah. Y'all are welcome. That was my, that was my hat tip from Peloton.
Is that what that was?
Yeah, I feel like I can speak for them.
Is that how that works? How do they feel about that?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't ask.
I'm thinking that they might be like, no.
Yeah,
not so much.
That is obviously not from Peloton.
Yeah.
Obviously, I was joking. But really, in all sincerity, none of that would. I mean, it was definitely a huge domino that started this entire thing.
Right. Most of those companies would not exist were it not for Peloton.
Yeah. Big change.
Yeah. And then segueing into just a little follow-up, we know what the green badge was all about now.
Yeah, and it was indeed called the Quest Badge. So what's going to happen is once a week, if you follow Peloton on Instagram, they're going to put a clue out, and it's a scavenger hunt. You have to go find the ride. So the first one was pretty easy for me.
Right.
I don't want to ruin it for people who haven't figured it out yet. I feel like, well, by the time this airs, it should, they have a whole month. So I don't know. I don't want to mess it up for anybody.
Right.
I don't want to mess up anybody's quest. But for me personally, this was instantly, I knew exactly what ride and run it was. Like, just like move. I got it. You don't even need to finish.
I heard this. The next one was really hard. This was Tom's first ride.
Nobody can find it.
Nobody can find it. You will never get your green badge.
Funny enough, I know you're joking, but when they originally posted the clue said you can find this run, ride, or flow from last summer. There was no flow. People were going nuts because there wasn't a flow.
Gotcha.
And so they were trying to find it, and that's not a thing. So if you're crazy, if you thought you were crazy last week and you were still wondering you didn't have that all tied up in a nice little bow, it wasn't. That was not a class.
There's no bow flow.
No bow flow.
Oh, no. There's no bow flow.
So, yeah.
And
I can't wait to see what this week says and whether or not I know it. I wonder if you get like a big badge. So like they gave you a green badge.
Right.
But like, do you get a big badge for completing all 4 of the quests? Like it becomes like the leaves all come together into like a big world or something.
Right.
I need to know.
Like Voltron.
Yeah, that's what I want to happen. I wanted to do some like really cool stuff on my screen. Yeah, I've got a whole vision. Peloton, reach out to me. We can chat.
Well, that head of marketing position's open.
I feel like this is more of a content thing. Yeah. Maybe I should reach out to Tom Cortese.
Yeah.
Like, hey, Tom, got some ideas.
Give him old jingle jangle. So for the last 8 weeks, we've been talking about giving away a tonal.
We did.
And we finally gave away a tonal.
We gave it away. We are very excited to announce that Joanna Casal was our winner, our grand prize winner. There was only one prize, so by default, she was a grand prize winner. And so she won a tonal and a 1 year's free subscription to tonal.
So that's really cool.
Very cool.
We announced that last week on the Zoom call. Should we talk about the other thing we announced on the Zoom call?
Well, we should, but let's also, for everybody, we want to go ahead and play the clip from Joanna.
Yeah, we when we called and let her know, we recorded it, and she said we could do this.
Yes.
So no take backs.
Right. You said yes, Joanna. And so here is her unedited version, or her we shouldn't say not edited, because I like deleted the beginning and end of the clip, but I mean like her pure response to finding out.
Yeah, so now through the magic of the internet, we take you back in time to our call to Joanna.
That was me going backwards.
Is that what that was?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just so you know, Tom's listening and he's on speaker.
Hello.
Hi, Tom.
And we actually wanted to tell you that you are the winner of the tonal.
No way.
Yep, you're the winner. We don't really need help with anything.
No.
No way. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited.
Congratulations.
Yes, congrats.
Are you kidding me?
No.
Is this not a prank?
Not a prank at all.
Thank you. This is so exciting.
So that was really fun.
It was very fun.
We had to trick her to get her on the phone.
Yeah, we did.
We don't want to say how.
No.
Because we might need to trick you one day.
Yeah. So we don't want to give away all our secrets.
We give away all our secrets.
Joanna promised she wouldn't tell.
Yes.
So we're going to trust her.
She signed an NDA. We're not that good.
No.
Maybe we should have Tonal throw in an NDA.
Next time.
No giving away the secrets of the clip out. So on the Zoom call last week, if you were kind enough to join us, you already know this part, so you can fast forward a little bit, save yourself some time. But we announced that we are going to be starting a new podcast in addition to, not instead of, Countdown.
Yes, the clip out is not going anywhere.
I'm assuming that would upset you. Maybe it wouldn't.
I don't know.
I was like, calm down. I'm like, well, maybe they weren't upset
at all. Yeah, I know. It sounded a little narcissistic.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't know that you should assume anyone's upset, Tom.
They were like, yeah, you had a good run. That's plenty.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're starting a new podcast. It will be similar to the clip out, except instead of talking about Peloton, we will be talking about Tonal. So how exciting.
I am so excited.
Yeah, and it's going to be called the Superset. Yes. And that should be coming out whenever this goes live in the next couple days, 3, 4, 5 days. You should start seeing it pop up, and we will share it within the clip out, at least initially, so people are aware that it exists. And, and like I said, it'll be similar. We'll interview Tonal employees and Tonal users, and we'll talk about what's going on in the world of Tonal. I guess the only real difference is that it will be every 2 weeks, whereas this is weekly.
And it will discuss different topics. You know, like on this podcast, we focus a lot on the world of Peloton. Obviously, we will be focusing a lot on the world of Tonal.
Sure. And
so it will be things that, you know, are strength related versus cardio related. But we'll talk about the competitors of Tonal. We'll talk about all of those kinds of similar topics.
Yeah. And when Echelon finally rips off Tonal, we'll make fun of them too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or still.
Definitely.
Just in a new way. Just in a new and exciting way.
So, you know, you might want to if you've just been, you can't get enough of Tom and I, you're going to have a chance to get 1.5 more times.
And I know I can't. Just can't get enough of me. And you.
Oh, thanks.
But mostly me.
Thanks for throwing that in.
So you got a little surprise in the mail from Peloton.
Well, so did you.
Well, I never saw it, but
You did too, see it. You did too. Oh, you're such a stinker. Trying to throw me under the bus. Oh, it's from Peloton. I'll just take it. I mean, I did, but
Right.
But
You did take it.
But it was to get the boxes out of here. We can't have the Rona running around the house. I had to, I had to get rid of all the boxes and the stuff. But packaged inside the boxes from Peloton were some really cool little items like swag that I think we would have all gotten had we actually gone to homecoming this year.
Yeah, that's my guess. That would have been some sort of welcome gift when you went to homecoming.
It's very nice. Got a water bottle.
Is that what was in there?
Keychain. You know what it was. I showed you all of it.
From a distance.
No, that is not true. I totally shared, guys. I did.
You're like Daffy Duck in the diamond mine. You're like, my mine, all mine.
No, that is not true. I did not do that.
So if you had signed up for homecoming, it sounds like you got a little surprise in the mail, and if you haven't gotten it yet, we're sorry we ruined the surprise.
Yeah, it sounds like they're still, from what I'm seeing on Facebook and such, it sounds like they're still arriving. So if you haven't gotten one, don't despair. It's probably on its way.
So Wall Street Journal had an interesting article about connected fitness.
It did, and this is going to be a topic actually on our Tonal podcast, but I wanted to mention it because, I'm so used to all of the connected fitness kind of all starting with Peloton. But in this one, they were talking about this Carol bike I've never even heard of. And they didn't even mention Peloton except to say, well, you don't want to get pushed too hard by Peloton, so you should use this Carol bike I've never heard of.
Well, I think the reason it doesn't push you as hard is because you can only use it at Christmas.
So apparently, I just thought that was interesting because it's this whole article is about AI, home fitness, etc. But the reason I think they could justify using this other bike is because Peloton is the originator of connected fitness within our new kind of generation that we have going on. But the reason that they went ahead and put this one out is because, or talked about Carol, is because it allows you to kind of set your own resistance. And so they were comparing it in relation to like Tonal, which sets your weights for you. So they say that on this bike, you get on the bike and you take 3 rides on it. And based on how hard you can push yourself on those rides, that's how hard your classes will then be.
And that's different from Tonal how?
It's not different from
you're saying
the bike.
You're saying this bike is more like Tonal in that regard.
Exactly.
Okay, now I gotcha. But yeah, I don't know. It just seems like for the bike that doesn't seem like it's as
it sounds lame.
Yeah.
And here's why. It didn't go on to say anything about like, are there live classes and they're just adjusting your resistance, but it sounded like, hey, you'll just exercise at an appropriate time and resistance for you based on how you did during these 3 rides. And so I have not done any further research. Maybe there's live classes. Maybe there's a whole thing. I don't know. But it just struck me as odd that the entire article kind of took this different approach to it.
Right.
Like, oh, this is better for you because it's very specific to what you need. And I agree with that when it comes to strength.
Right.
Not sure I agree with that when it comes to cardio because, quite frankly, cardio is like you have to get your heart rate up to a certain level for it to really be effective. Now, I guess it could be the same. You could say that about anything, that if you're not pushing hard enough for the strength, then you're only going to get out of it what you put in, is what I'm trying to say. But whenever I ride the Peloton bike, it's like I'm all in all the time. So I just can't imagine, why do I need the bike to tell me how hard I can make the resistance? I just don't understand. Like, it's turning a freaking knob.
Yeah, it seems like that's a lot easier of a thing to suss out on your own than it is for strength training.
For me, it just seems...
Especially because for strength training, there's so many different ways to lift the weights.
Right?
That, like, it would just seem like it would be a lot to keep track of.
And it is, which, I mean... I was re-listening to the interview that we did with Ali Aradi from Tonal, and who's a CEO and creator. And when I was listening to it, I was thinking about the fact that he talks about how he used to have like a piece of paper and it would get all sweaty, because he would like be carrying it around. Like, I need to do this many sets and this much strength. And that is why I never got into lifting weights at all, because it was like, I didn't know what machines to use, what day, what weights I should be using. So having somebody set it for me and then I forget it makes perfect sense.
Totally.
All I have to do then is focus on my form and like just doing what they tell me to do.
Yeah.
But on Peloton, it just like if you're comparing that to the bike, it just seems like it's just a non-issue. Like
Right,
I just like they're making a problem where there is none.
Yeah, totally. It's a solution in search of a problem.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where, with strength training, there's so many different weird moves. It's like, oh, you're going to do a deadlift, and from there, it's going to be a one-eyed pirate. And then over here, you've got the rat back. And then I'm like, what? You're doing what now? What are these things called? These can't be real things, are they?
I think you've been watching me too much, Tom.
If I was, I was watching, not listening, apparently.
Clearly, because there's never been anything called a rat pack.
I said a rat back.
Okay, well, I wasn't listening to you that time.
But there is a one-armed pirate?
No, there's not one of those either. I just thought it was interesting.
Absolutely. So in light of all that, how's Fight Camp going?
Great. The other day, I did a 6-rounder, which is my first time doing a 6-round class, and I really enjoyed it. Okay, so I was off the prospect path again. I've been going rogue. I'm all over the place. But I really enjoyed it. I tried a new coach PJ, which I really enjoyed. He was very just focused on the moves. And all these Fight Camp instructors are just so like, they just lay out the moves for you. Here's what we're going to do. And then they take a minute while you're resting and they show you what's coming up in the next 2 minutes. And I really like how it's broken down into 2-minute or 4-minute increments and then you rest. Because it's like, that no matter what you're doing, you only have a certain amount of time and then you're done.
Right.
And you get to rest. And that's really important, especially around round 5. Like, okay, I got this, you know? But I really love that every single class is so different. You wouldn't think there's that many moves, like punching is punching, right?
Right.
But there's not. There's like all these different moves and then there's like the body shot, and man, I didn't realize how much I enjoyed. Okay, no, we're on very different
Is there
levels.
a one-armed pirate?
No, there's no one-armed pirate.
Do you get to punch a rat back?
I think there was a rat pack I punched. But like they were doing like
Well, they did have a one-eyed guy.
No. So there was one of the combinations I was doing this weekend was like 1-2 and then a 3 and then a 3 to the body. So it was like, if you had an actual person standing there, you'd hit them from the side. You guys can't see, but I'm showing Tom that I'm like kind of doing a hook to the side. And you were supposed to kind of like duck down as you did it.
Right.
And I felt like I was really doing something, I mean,
Well, you were doing something.
But I mean, I felt like really accomplished. Like I was actually tough enough that I could like actually punch somebody and hurt them.
Well, I heard that phase 2 for Fight Camp is that the bag will punch back.
Well, I'm going to have to get better. Like a lot better.
There should be no liability issues about that at all, should there?
No, I'm sure it'll be fine.
And just in from Fight Camp, they said, don't listen to anything I say.
Yeah, definitely. That is true.
Except for this part.
Okay.
If you would like to know more, you can go to joinfightcamp.com.
That is true.
Yeah.
And if you decide to buy one or buy a package from them, make sure you tell them that you found out about them from the clip out during the survey at the end of your purchase.
Don't mention anything about the bag that punches back.
No.
That would get me in trouble.
I don't think they're going to want to go with that.
No.
It's kind of like the sexy filter you had on Peloton many moons ago.
They should have, and boy, they should. Maybe I should apply for the head of marketing position that is open. And my entry point will be the sexy person filter.
I can't see you making it to an interview, but good luck.
So the Peloton blog had an article about meditation for anxiety.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to say that regardless of what the article said, it's just helpful. Meditation for anxiety is helpful because it helps you with your breathing. It helps you focus on something else. And I tell you what, since this whole Corona thing has happened, it has really, my anxiety levels have been through the roof. I haven't been meditating as much as I should. Honestly, it's a lot to do with our sleep schedule. Because I know you're going to make fun of me if I turn on a meditation.
What? I've never made fun of you.
Oh, you would so make fun of me if
You've done it before.
Yeah, but only when I have my little headphones on, so you can't hear it.
Oh, you meant turn it on for me to hear too.
Yeah,
I would make fun of.
Yeah. So so I haven't been, because then I got to mess with my phone, and then I got to have the little.
I'm not here 3 nights a week now.
I know. And those nights are the worst time for me to sleep, because you get up in the middle of the night and then I'm awake and then I go back to sleep, or I try to go back to sleep. Not that it's your fault. Anyway, the point being, all of that to say, I really believe that this meditation is super, super helpful for anxiety, and I need to take my own advice and do more of the meditation. But this whole blog that Peloton put out it kind of goes through step by step why it's helpful, and then they give you some suggestions, like doing it with your kids, and things like that with the whole family, because they have some of those family classes now. And so this is a good example. I saw that it was a couple weeks ago that Gina Mitchell put a picture of her daughter doing a meditation for the first time, and her daughter's name is Sydney. You might remember that. Okay. And so she's tiny, she's still in that 4-year-old cute, adorable, toddler-ish looking face, that they have when they're so little. And so she's sitting on the floor and she's like got her eyes closed and she's in meditation pose. And then the next picture, when you swipe, is like she's got her eye open. It was so adorable. But she was taking one of the family meditation classes from Peloton. I just thought that was the cutest. Our kids aren't cute when they do things anymore like that.
Now they're teenagers now, so the cuteness is all worn off.
The only time I see my Sydney be cute is when she's sleeping. She still sleeps with her stuffed animals. And so like I walk in at noon because she's a teenager and she's got them all cuddled up and I'm like, aw. And then I'm like, I need to wake her up and the cuteness is going to go away.
Yeah, because you have to scream to wake her up like a drill sergeant.
I do. It's ridiculous.
There was a nice little post from Maddie about his super supportive parents.
Yeah. I just love his parents. I don't know if you guys got to see this, but Maddie did one of his at-home live runs last weekend, and his parents came out and they had big signs that said proud Pello parents. And they were basically like cheering him on. Like it was they were in the window of the Today Show. Yeah. They had signs they made with poster board, which that shows you like how dedicated his parents are. It means one of two things. It means that they either went out and bought these supplies
during the Rona,
right?
And bought cardboard, or they just constantly have poster board at the ready.
And either way, they're just awesome.
Yeah.
Like if they would do that, then they're awesome. And if they already had it and they were prepared for such an event.
We just need to have poster board around here.
Because you never know when you're going to need to cheer somebody on.
Right.
Like they're just so supportive.
We don't have poster board.
No.
We're not cheering anybody on.
No.
Maybe that's why our teenagers aren't cute. Maybe they'd be cuter if we cheered them on.
You make a good point, Tom. Make a really good point.
Maddie needs to send us a picture of what he looked like as a teenager.
Yeah, Maddie, you're going to have to settle this.
If he was a cute teenager, then it bears this theory out.
Yeah.
If he was just a regular teenager.
Yeah. Like, did you do cute things? Were you really nice all the time? Or did you go through like a rebellious phase? We need to know.
Right.
We need to know to really hammer this down. Well, I doubt he's listening, so I'll have to message him.
Yeah, that seems fair.
We'll get some answers. We'll get to the bottom of this.
But if you would like to see that, there will be a link in the email that we send out every week, so you can go sign up for that at our website at theclipout.com. And this next story makes both of us jealous for very different reasons. Robin got to sit down with Reese Witherspoon. I make the same sigh, I just suppress it.
Yeah, do you have a thing for her?
I think she's pretty adorable.
Do you?
I do.
I don't know. Man, we've been watching this show, this Little Fires Everywhere. She's not as cute as she used to be.
Well, I mean, she's also kind of bitchy on that show.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's taken some of the cuteness out of it.
But she's played characters like that before. Tracy Flick in Election. She was like that.
She still had the cuteness.
Well, because she was very, very young during that movie's like 20-something years old now.
Right. I definitely agree.
But yeah. I
was just wondering if it was still working for you. So don't worry. She's still cute.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good to know. Yeah. Well, I'm jealous because, they can interview Robin and we can't.
Yeah.
So there's that.
There's that.
Also, Robin got to talk to Reese Witherspoon.
And we can't do that either.
We can't do that either. So we've got our limits.
We do have our limits. Does Reese Witherspoon have a Peloton?
No clue.
I was just curious.
Presumably.
Yeah.
Since she had Robin on her podcast called Shine On.
Shine On.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know, I think she's really cute.
Now I've got a Pink Floyd song stuck in my head.
Do you?
I do.
I feel like they're not related.
I don't think they are, but yeah, that's what I've been doing at work because when in the overnight, like I can't get to Spotify, they have it blocked, but I can get to YouTube. So I've been watching full length concerts from classic rock acts. So I've watched like 3 Pink Floyd concerts while I would read my book. I'd let it play in the background.
Wow.
Well,
that's a lot.
So I've heard Shine On You Crazy Diamond in like 3 different incarnations of Pink Floyd now. So
okay. I gotcha.
That's what I've done. But anyway, so what did Reese have to say?
Oh, I don't know. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it.
Okay. Thanks for the recap.
No problem.
But we have been watching Little Fires Everywhere.
Yeah.
Which is really good.
It is really good. If you guys haven't checked it out, it's I kind of can't wait to get done with this just so we can go finish watching it.
We had to stop it with like 20 minutes left.
Yeah.
And it was building up, man.
Yeah. Season finale or series finale. I don't even know. But whatever it is, it's good.
Yes.
So can't wait to find out.
Absolutely.
Checking in with the Peloton community.
So joining us today via the magic of Skypeophone is Geoff Schwartz. Hey, Geoff. How's it going?
I'm glad to be here. Hope everyone is getting through stay-at-home orders and just quarantine life and doing with smiles on face. I know it's hard right now, but hope everyone's able to make it work.
It's not hard for me. I am naturally lazy.
He is, yeah.
This is my time to shine.
I like wearing sweatpants, so I have not been at all taken aback by having to wear them every single day for the last 3 weeks.
How is it going for you though? Like what's a typical day for you?
Well, now I mean, not what it used to be.
Sure.
And I have a radio show that I was doing at night on the Pac-12 network on Sirius, 6 to 9 Eastern, Monday through Friday, and that's now reduced to one podcast per day. So basically, we record it in the afternoon now, and then put that out like it's live at 6 o'clock for an hour. So I'm fortunate to still have that going. I then write. It's a little bit less now with NFL, kind of a little bit of a dead period. But when it gets going, I have 4 articles a week, and I have my own podcast as well. So I stay pretty busy. But now, I mean, I don't know. I woke up this morning. We did a big ride together. A bunch of retired NFL offensive linemen. Did a 10 a.m. class this morning for 30 minutes, and then I just kind of lollygagged around the house, recorded my podcast at 1 o'clock. I did a rookie mistake, guys.
What?
You guys have recorded a lot. I've seen. Right now we're using Skype because we don't have a choice. No one's in the studio to use the actual device, the Comrex we normally use, and so you record calls via Skype. Obviously, you can have a third-party recorder. I pressed start record today. I pressed it. I swear I did. But we were done with an hour. Guess what? None of it recorded. So
First off,
we had to redo it.
Let me just say how much joy it brings me to hear that people who work at that level do the same stuff.
It has happened.
Because we've had that happen a time. Or there was one poor lady, I forget who, we had to interview her 3 times.
Yeah, it was a different thing each time, though. In our defense, it was like once that like we had all these troubles. She couldn't get her microphone to work on her end at all.
Yeah.
And then there was another time that the Skype recording didn't work at all.
Yeah.
And then there was the third time was the charm. But
so
amazing.
It makes us feel a lot better about when things like that happen to us. We're like, we're so unprofessional. We could never work at that level. Oh, okay. I'll fit right in.
Yes.
We actually have a program, just a little inside baseball, not to mix metaphors, but our Skype recording program, it starts as soon as Skype connects.
Yes.
So
Yeah, I have one of those too, but I never downloaded it on this computer that I use now.
Yeah.
And so it was going to make me pay too. So I was like, I'll just use the free one.
Yeah.
So I got what I deserved, I guess, for going cheap. But we recorded the show today, and I think it was better than the first one. So we made it work. And look, we had nothing to do. The host and I, Sean and I, were like, "Look, all right, well, we have nothing else to do. Let's re-record the show." So we made it work.
Well, I mean, I guess if that's going to happen, what a great time for it to happen. Not when you have like 18,000 appointments lined up behind it.
Exactly. Yes.
Think of it like rehearsal. That should be your best episode ever because you got a dry run.
Exactly.
Bingo. It was. But I liked our dry run today. It was pretty good. I was a little bummed we had to do it again, though.
Don't you hate when
we nailed our first hour of our show today?
I hate when you forget jokes or little tidbits that you had the first time. Like they just came so naturally.
Yeah.
And then you're like, wait, it didn't work in this time. It didn't happen.
There were a couple times on the retaping when it's like that. Like ha 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 ha, it just was like it wasn't as funny second time around. But we made it work anyways.
So I have to ask. I always start with this question: how did you originally find Peloton?
So I mean, of course, we've seen the ads, and my wife does not like working out at all. She hates it. I love working out, and so my idea was to get it for her. This is before the ad came out. I think that everyone mocked. But,
Good.
She was like, I want to get a Peloton. And for months, I kind of held out. So I'm like, you're not going to ride it. It's a waste of money. You're not going to do it. And so I finally gave in. I was like, all right, fine. I'll get you a Peloton. So I got her the Peloton. And this was like around Halloween. I think actually my first ride was on Halloween. And so with the gym still open, well, I mean, really, she's running like 5 times, of course. But with the gym still open, I would do the Peloton once or twice a week. And then I'd still lift. Maybe I'd do Peloton once a week and lift 3 days a week. I still want to get my lifting in. And obviously, since the stay-at-home order, I live in Charlotte, North Carolina. It's been around now for at least 3 weeks, I want to say. At least some sort of stay-at-home, not the official one, but I haven't been in the gym in 3 weeks. So now I'm using it 4 days a week at least. And, so that's how it started. And that's what I'm doing. And it's interesting because I have a really good hack for the Peloton for bigger guys. I tweet this out. I can retweet again when the podcast comes out. I'm tall. I'm 6'6". I'm way over the weight limit, but I make it work. And the handlebars only come up to a certain height, obviously.
Right.
And so I don't want to be leaning over the bike because it's not good for my back. So I stack up. Take 6 bath towels, fold them in quarters, and stack them up on the handlebar.
Oh.
So my hands just sit like they would for anyone else on the bike who's not 6'6".
Really? So does that get in your way of your monitor at all?
No.
Okay.
'Cause I'm tall enough where I can look through the towels to the monitor. No, it doesn't at all. And so this way I can obviously when I'm push pedaling hard, I don't have to like lean way over to grab onto the handlebars. And then when I get out of the saddle, I don't have to like be in a weird position where I'm like almost it's so much better this way. It's awesome.
Well, that's a great tip. Yeah, that's awesome. So you guys got the bike this past year?
I got in October.
Wow. So it's kind of new. So you said your wife has only ridden it 5 times?
Who knows? Yeah, probably. Her account has like my dad on it and her friend on it. I don't even know how many she's officially done because she's not on there. And she hasn't used it all. But I'll tell you what, I probably didn't get the value in it until we have the quarantine. I mean, until like we got to stay at home and it's like all I have to do. And then I've ramped up my use of it and taken it more live classes because I have less, more time to kind of hop in a live class and you don't have to be so regimented with my schedule. And it's been great. I mean, like the workouts have taken off now that I do it more often.
Okay. So I know everybody at home is dying to know, like, is there a certain ride they can all hop on with you? Like where are you guys? Where are you guys all riding? When is this happening?
So if you go on Twitter, I'm at Geoff Schwartz. It's Jeff with a G. I will tweet out when I'm going on, and there's a bunch of us. There's Booger McFarland, who's on ESPN Monday Night Football. He's amazing. Like he blows us out of the water. I mean, he'll get his output's over 700 on a 45-minute ride.
Good Lord.
Yeah, it's incredible. Cole Kubick on the SEC Network. Eric Wood, who played for the Bills forever. TJ Lang was on the line. So there's a bunch of retired NFL players doing basically a lot of media now. There's also current guys that we get in there. And then also from Barstool Sports, PFT commenter, who's fantastic. He has a little gang too. So there's retired NFL players, and he calls them his Buns of Anarchy gang. So he has them going on too. So we kind of like joined. So this morning, today's April 2nd, we had I think 7 or 8 people on like in that group.
Yeah.
and we just went after it. There was also something last week with a bunch of PGA Tour guys with Bubba Watson and Rory McIlroy and Justin Thomas, where Bubba tweeted out like, "Yo, we're going on 10 a.m. tomorrow. Let's go." A bunch of us hopped in there at the same time and just get after it. It's the first thing I've done since I retired. I retired in 2016. That in the morning I feel like it's like a game day. I'm like, okay, I got to make sure I eat. We're getting on at 10 o'clock. Like I'm getting after it. And like for the live workouts, it's different if we schedule like a non-live workout. You know, kind of like, okay, we're doing one at 8 o'clock when it's not live. The live ones feel like there's even more competition, and so it feels good like to get to compete and see everyone's numbers and try to beat your PR, but try to get after someone else. And it's really the competition is fantastic in my opinion.
It's so interesting because like so many of the people we talk to are like, don't worry about the competition, don't worry about the leaderboard, don't let that intimidate you. Like, just get out there and do your thing. But I mean, it would make sense that like somebody that's performed at your level is going to be hyper competitive. That you're
especially against other people that you've played against.
Yeah, and it's just interesting because it's like normally people.
You almost have to like talk them up. Like you have to kind of hype them up because so many people come to the bike and they're intimidated by it.
Well, and I think so many people know that like because Peloton, the world of Peloton has gotten so large and there's so many people on these rides. The average person, they're not going to be able to compete because there are people like this. You know what I mean? Like, I don't mean
you guys have these massive outputs. You
right.
know, just to give a comparison, like so I'm 5'6" as opposed to your 6'6", and so my like 45 minutes when I'm like really all out is like 300.
I mean, it's like I had a friend today that was on with us. And he was like blowing us out of the water. And I clicked on his profile while we were going, and he was putting the resistance up to 100. And
his bike is jacked.
I think he averaged like 71 resistance with like a pace of like 80.
No, he's got a bike that isn't it needs to be recalibrated. So
I went up to 95 for like the last 45-second push we had.
Oh.
And I mean, I could do it. I mean, my cadence was like 50. It wasn't like that bad. I actually didn't think it was as hard as going like with a 70 cadence and I mean, like a 60 resistance and a 80 cadence. I thought that wasn't as hard. I mean, so guys are able to, I think, do a lot more resistance, obviously, that are ex-players.
Sure. Yeah. That stands to reason. Yeah.
So do you guys like, I just picture you guys like all chatting while you're doing this. Like you have your phones and you're like giving each other talking shit while you're doing it.
No, I do want to one time, you just that video feature now.
Yes.
Yeah.
Great if there was like, we were all together on a video, but I think that most of us are like huffing and puffing so bad that it doesn't, that there's just no way that we could ever do that. I'm just like the very end. I wear a heart rate monitor separate of the Peloton. I mean, if I'm going well the last 3 minutes of a 30-minute ride, my heart rate is like 170.
Yeah.
For all three.
Whoa.
So like I'm not really in the mood to get on video and see how people are doing. I mean, I'm just looking at my stats right now. Like at the end today, I was at like 50 cadence at 95 resistance for 45 seconds.
Good Lord. Yeah, that's massive. So do you guys like always ride with the same instructor? Is there like a go-to instructor for you guys?
Just like Alex. There's actually an article written today on ESPN.com about Alex and all the NFL players that ride with him. So if you go to ESPN.com, there's a giant article
we saw it. Yeah, we posted it, and one of our listeners actually is friends with the guy who wrote that.
So Kevin wrote it, I think, and so he's great. But if you're doing a live class, you kind of have to pick and choose. So if I'm choosing a live class, part of it too, I think for us, the football players, and I don't know how this is. I don't obviously follow many other people that ride. We kind of don't listen to what they tell us, and so like if someone's saying, and I can't move as fast, my legs don't move as fast as most people, and so I choose to be a little bit more resistance heavy, and then my legs just a little bit slower. Typically, I feel like I get a better workout that way, even though my speed's getting faster. But like we kind of don't listen, and so it sometimes doesn't matter who the person is. But personally, like, if I'm riding by myself, I like Robin. I think she's fantastic, and she does a ton of the hard rides. I typically choose a lot of the hit ones, and I like the interval type of workouts. She's great. Alex is great. Those are probably the two that if I'm just riding by myself, I go with the most. If it's a live ride, you kind of just don't have a choice.
Right. I mean, just kind of whatever, whoever's there, whoever's teaching. And they all have their own personalities. So it's like you're still getting a great workout.
Yeah. And again, I think with us as athletes, we're used to working out. So we kind of know, like there'll be days where I know, like, okay, today's a day where I feel great. I'm going to push it. Today's not a day. I'm not going to push it. Okay, today I want to work on, and there's some, I don't like the rest, for example. I do not like rest. I don't like long warm-ups and rest. So if it's a 3-minute rest, I'll probably take a minute rest. I'll do intervals for 2 more minutes to just get, start up again when they start up again. I just kind of feel like that's what I need to do for myself. It's a 10-minute warm-up. I'm using about 2 of those minutes, and I'm just starting my own intervals. So
wow.
I think a lot of us, that's the way we kind of look at it. It's like, okay, we know what we want to get done today. We don't really use maybe the instructor what they're telling us exactly what to do.
Well, that makes sense. Now, I've read that football players like spin versus running. So as opposed to having the Peloton tread, is there any truth to that? And if there is, why?
Well, I think the Peloton is less beating on your body than the treadmill. There are guys I know that have the treadmill. I think they're crazy. I don't run. I'm never going to run. It's never my thing. So the bike feels low impact to me now. Of course, I kind of hacked that back thing because it was bothering my back a little bit early on. So I wasn't able because I just was kind of bending over a little bit too much and hunching my back.
Okay.
So the towel thing really helped. And so I feel good afterwards. Running for 20 minutes would just destroy my body.
I guess with your size, that's probably.
Yeah, I guess just you're.
I'm already above the weight limit for the bike, but I can't imagine I'm anywhere near the weight limit for the treadmill. And that pounding on the treadmill would break it if I was too heavy. The bike, I can get away with it much easier.
So do other NFL players or people that are that size, do they do a similar thing when they're on the bike with the towels, or do they? I don't
know. I recently started sharing it. I don't know what people were doing.
Right.
I think just because I was a buddy of mine today. He's only done a couple rides. I think he's 7 or 8 rides. He's like, man, climbing, I just can't do it. I'm like, dude, you got to put the towels on there because then you're way more upright. You're not bent over in a very weird position. And so that I think it's awesome.
Huh. Well, I think that's a really good tip because and on the flip side, people who are really short, they use pool noodles on the actual handlebars to make them closer to them. That's another thing.
Exactly. Yeah. That was an idea that I thought about doing with a big foam roller.
Yeah.
Just cutting and putting on top to make it thicker so I didn't have to lean down so much. But it wasn't it was that's probably not a little more. I can't take that. I can take this on and off easier. And so I just do the towels.
I'm sensing.
I'm went into the towels too.
I'm sensing a new reality show, Pimp My Peloton. You know how they used to have Pimp My Ride? And people can come in.
Old crusty towels that no one uses in their house. I also have a seat, a little cushiony seat and whatnot for my big butt. But yeah, it's been really fun. And I think that once you it feels like for me, I don't know how many I'm sure you guys have done hundreds of rides. When I got to it was really hard for a while. It's still hard. I had a great workout today, but it's a different type of hard. About 30 rides, I started feeling like I belonged, type of thing. And now it's just much easier. I get a better workout now, but I just felt it took about 30 rides. I felt to really kind of get the hang of the instructor I wanted, and I went through a bunch of them, the workouts I want, what works best for me, how fast my legs move, what's a good resistance for me, should I climb here, should I not climb. Maybe I'm overthinking it too much for myself, but it took about 30 rides. Ever since then, I'm going to get 37 or 38. The last 8 or 9 rides have been great.
That's awesome.
So you said that prior to the quarantine that you hadn't been riding the Peloton all that much. Do you feel like when it's lifted, do you feel like it will stay in your regimen more than it did previously, or will you just go back to the gym?
I don't know. I like lifting. I don't.
Sure, I get that.
Probably not. I might do it now twice a week instead of once a week. I might make sure I do it twice a week, but I still like to lift, and my body needs that. I'm holding up okay now. I'm able to get out and do some workouts outside. I have a couple free weights and kind of get the body moving. And you do get a good leg workout, but upper body is nothing you can do really. I know that they have those programs for the intervals and arms. Most of us just don't even do the arms. We just ride through it. And I need an upper body. I need to be able to lift, and so I'll probably go back to lifting a little bit more. Maybe I'd throw in a Saturday, an easier ride on Saturday. Wednesday is my I do Pilates and yoga on Wednesdays, so I don't write on those days. Maybe I'll do more. I don't know. I still like lifting though, so we'll see.
Tom and I have always talked about like how it feels like from an outside perspective, being a professional athlete, when you're constantly training, that whenever you retire, that it would be difficult to keep up that level of activity to stay in shape. Was that a difficult adjustment for you, or was it just came naturally?
When I retired, or when I was playing?
When you the adjustment from playing to retiring,
the transition.
Oh well, I'm not staying in shape. I'm not like football shape.
Well,
but,
okay.
As far as just working, so I've always liked working out. So to me, I always want to keep doing it. Now, the thing about when you're retired, I'm telling you, a bunch of boys have this problem, is you just immediately stop lifting because you've done it for, if you've done, college 4 years, you played in the NFL for a good side. I mean, you've been lifting for so many years in a row now. You've been beating up your body in the weight room, and you just say, I'm not going to lift, and you don't lift for 6 months, and then your body starts hurting because it needs that weightlifting experience. It doesn't need a lot of weight, just needs some weight. Your body's used to feeling, that certain way of, physicality of just just getting under a bar and moving and putting some weight up and endorphins burning and stuff like that. It's used to that type of thing. So, that was kind of what I did. And I was like, oops, I need to start lifting again. And then, if you just have nothing to do all day, which some guys do, they work out for multiple hours. I've just kind of been busy since I retired trying to build my media career up. So I've been able to get in, 45-minute lift 2 or 3 times a week. But I think the Peloton adds a dimension. I don't really have to spend time in the gym now doing like quote unquote cardio. I used to spend 20, 25 minutes in the gym doing like cardio, right? But now I can probably cut that out, just lift, get a warm up, just lift, and then save my cardio days for the Peloton.
Huh.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
But I would also think that when you're like, well, I'm not in shape, I think that like maybe your definition of shape has been skewed because you spent a good portion of time, basically it was your career to work out. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I guess I don't know what, I don't know what, I guess. So.
I was just picturing it like some people, they retire from any profession and they kind of just sit down and kind of like gain weight. So I was thinking of it more like,
oh yeah, some of us gain. Yeah, I would say that NFL players generally lose weight because from lifting. Now I'm a rare person to kind of stay the same weight because I've been this size. I'm actually smaller now than I was when I was in college. But I don't know. I track my heart rates and stuff, and I don't know. I don't know what's normal and not normal.
You work out a lot.
Like today. I did. Today was hard. I did a 30-minute ride. My average heart rate was 158, and I don't know. It's high, I think, for this ride. I have no idea.
I don't either. But it sounds like you work out a lot. It sounds like you're in a very good shape. To me,
yeah, like what you're describing sounds like a lot to like normal people, like people that aren't surrounded by professional athletes and used to be professional athletes.
I think in my opinion, a little difference is the recovery time. Like I can like I said, like if it's a 3-minute rest on the bike, do you guys like if a instructor says you have a 45-minute ride and they give you 3 minutes of quote unquote rest, right? Just kind of lower the resistance, speed the legs up. Do you guys do that for 3 minutes?
I usually do. Yeah.
Yeah. See, like I just do it for a minute and then just continue. I turn the resistance back up, get on my saddle and do, 45 on, 45 off twice or a minute. I do it one set of that and then ride out for 30 seconds till we go again. Like I get, maybe that's the difference. My recovery times, I don't really need the recovery.
Yeah. Yeah. You're responding to it a lot quicker than maybe the average person. So, do you ever interact with anybody from the Peloton community outside of like other sports players?
There's the PFT is at Barstool, so he rides. There's a bunch of people at Barstool that ride. Just kind of like it's only been like a thing on Twitter, in my opinion, that I've done for about 3 or 4 weeks. So I'm just trying to figure out. There's obviously fans and other people that I've tried to ride with. There's people that I know from other industries. But not really. I'm trying to think if I don't really follow celebrities. I'm not a celebrity person. Like I don't really follow celebrities, so I don't know who else is riding. I don't really care.
Sure. Well, the reason I ask is because I don't know if you're aware of like this giant community that's on Facebook and that like rides together, and they have all these different groups, and they're always talking. Yeah, like it's a massive, like on Peloton's official Facebook group, there's over 200,000 people in there.
I kind of got off Facebook like 3 years ago because it's ridiculous.
It is.
And so I'm on Facebook now, I guess. I haven't been on here in a while. I have my athlete page, and that's about all. I just post funny videos on that page. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it has 200,000. Yeah. Actually has, well, their official page has 600,000, but let me see. I don't know. Which is like the group page.
The group is like,
page?
Yeah, they call it the official Peloton member page.
Oh yeah. Yeah. 260. Yeah.
And
yeah, maybe I should start posting here. I don't know. I do not.
People would go nuts if you did. Like they would absolutely go nuts. Like they'd be so excited because,
join. It's a private group, but do I join I want to join as my athlete page. How do I do that?
Can you?
Who cares? I don't know. I'll figure it out.
I think some groups let you, some don't.
It's hard to here. Here we go. There we go. Athlete page. Join group. I've joined. Oh, geez. Lots of questions.
It's just things like what's your leaderboard name and your favorite instructor.
I agreed to the groups. Okay.
So don't be mean.
I have to submit some stuff. I have a bike and I agreed to group rules. Okay. My request is in, everybody.
See, I'm just super curious because so when you're on that page, we always taught within the group, there's a lot of discussion about all of the people that we see on Twitter, we see on TV that, you're very famous to us. So we're like, oh my gosh, all these people are riding and we're curious, like how does this work or how does that work? And so people will put all these comments on there, and so I'm just really curious. I'm always fascinated if other people if you guys are even aware that Facebook, like we're all like clamoring over everything you guys do.
I was unaware, but, yeah, I mean, that's, I didn't know, like I said, Facebook, I kind of just like stay away as much as possible, but maybe I have to come back now to be in the Peloton member page.
Well, it's Peloton membership. That particular page, it can
get a little wonky.
It can, but I will say in general, the Peloton community is probably one of the nicest communities of people on the internet in general. There's, of course, bad apples, but in general, everybody's super supportive of each other and they're cheering each other on. And that's how Tom and I have met so many people across the internet, across the country.
Okay, that's fantastic. I didn't know that. Like I said, that's good to know. No, I think that the competition part has been fantastic. And the thing about at least I found so far with the people I ride with is there's not even any shaming. Like typically, if we work out together, like I say in the weight room. And, you're not doing what everyone else is doing. You're going to get made fun of, right? It's just kind of the way it is, right? But I think we all realize that we all started out pretty bad. And so when guys, don't do as good as you think or they don't do as well today, like there's no mocking. It's like, wow, good job, buddy, because it was hard. And I found that very, not comforting is probably the wrong word, but just like nice about riding with people so far. And
I would say in general, that's how Peloton is across the board. That's how the community is. It's always a cheering on type of thing. And I really like that about the company. The community that they've built has always been like meet you where you are, regardless of who you are. There's people that ride the bike that they might be. We've had a person on who has been an Olympic champion, but she was blind. So, she's a triathlete, but she has to like do the Paralympian so that she has like somebody. Yeah. So there's just all kinds of really interesting stories out there.
It's obviously, look, I've read the sports side, but I'm glad to read the stories on the page. I think again, the competition, I'll tell you what, I've only dealt with the customer service once essentially, right? When I called and got the bike, they were great. They were easy. They were great. They came to the house. They set it up in 7 minutes. It's always worked. Even though today, actually, I think it was my internet was in and out. But just like it's always worked. Like it's just everything has worked well. The classes are easy to find. It's easy to, like I said, the one time I used customer service was great. And it's been good so far.
So do you think if you ever go to New York after this travel is lifted and we can move about freely again, will you ever go to the studio and do a live ride?
Yes, but again, I'm not going to follow what they're telling me to do. So it's going to be kind of weird when they're like, all right, 3-minute rest. And I'm over there just like in the back, up in the saddle. So,
okay.
Yeah, 100% go. But I also don't have shoes. So I wear a size 18. So I have the cages. So
think about that.
Wow.
Do they have that? Okay. Yeah. By the way, if I know you have a lot of listeners, if anyone's listening, if you can find size 18 shoes I can clip into, I'd love to try them out. I've searched the internet, can't find them. If anyone knows size 18 I can clip into, I'd love to have them because it just kind of gets uncomfortable sometimes with the cages, especially my feet being so big. So if anyone has them or knows where to get them or can make them, just let me know.
I'm just like sitting here going, if you're getting those kind of numbers of output with the cages on, I can't even imagine the output you would get if you.
Oh, so do you go faster if you are able to clip in?
Absolutely.
Yeah, let me translate what she's saying because she's my wife, so I can translate what she's saying. Is she saying that she is not going to help you be better at this?
Is that why I can't go faster?
Yeah,
Right.
It is. It really is
I'm sort of like I should go faster, but I kind of don't.
Well, yeah, because when you've got it clipped against your foot, you can use the entire upstroke of the pedal because it's not you're not fighting against the gravity at that point. It's with your foot. So it's a complete game changer to be clipped in.
Well, someone better get me some dang shoes then.
Well, we will put the team to work. And we will
if
find
anybody
them for
knows.
you.
So I would think though that because this is a very popular activity, it sounds like among NFL players and professional athletes in general, and by virtue of definition, professional athletes are larger,
tall.
and
You guys
more
are tall.
powerful than the average person, said the guy who's 5'6", and so I would think that there would be some sort of cottage boutique industry that would make things like that for
I
you
really
guys.
think there is.
But you can get shoes up. You can get shoes up to 17 though. That's just the 18 is the problem. What I've seen so far. I could buy the piece that goes on the shoe and maybe get an old shoe and just put on there somehow.
Yeah, there are another type of cage that it's a little bit better because it connects to the bottom of your shoe rather than just you slide your foot in. So I don't know which one you have, but still
I just literally slide my foot in and the back 3/4 of my foot's not even attached, and so especially when I climb, it kind of sucks. About 45 seconds a minute, it's I'm done. I wish I could climb longer.
Yeah,
well, yeah. That
it does
explains why you feel like you can't go faster because you can't.
It's literally messing with your speed and your power. Like I said, your output would be ginormous, a huge input.
Well, this is my. If you one of your listeners, I need this solution.
Okay.
At Geoff Schwartz on Twitter, you can send me a DM. They're open. You let me know. We'll work out a deal. But size 18, preferably a little wider than usual, and I'll rock them.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
challenge extended.
Yes.
This is a resourceful group. I have a feeling we're going to be successful.
Yeah, we're putting it out into the clip out universe.
Yes.
Hopefully, we have some cobblers that listen.
You never know.
Yeah.
Well, that's fascinating. I feel like we really got somewhere with
your. This would be great if we could solve this problem for you.
Yes.
Incredible.
And then you could start.
Right. Well, see, don't tell anybody. Don't tell any of your friends. They
all have them. All the things. I think all the people I ride with have shoes.
But what I'm saying is, if you're really competitive, right? And so, if you don't tell them that you just suddenly show up with these, you're gonna blast them.
I'm performing enhancing drugs. It's just some shoes. So let's tell them I'm juicing.
Shoe juicing.
You're juicing.
I am, yes.
I feel like I'm writing a children's book with making up words.
Shoosing?
I'm Dr. Shoosh.
Oh, geez.
So I have a question about your NFL career and more just how did you make that transition from the NFL to what you're doing now? Was that difficult? Was that kind of a thing that was waiting for you? How does that transpire?
Well, I mean, it takes a lot of work. I always wanted to do media, and then looking at kind of where I was, in my career, and I was pretty hurt most of my career. I had a couple good seasons where I was healthy. And then it takes a lot of work. So basically for about 2 years, all I did was say yes to anything. Anything someone wanted me to do, an interview, a radio show, a podcast, anything, just said yes. And that's how I kind of began my radio career, is just saying yes to everything. And my agent helped me with, getting my foot in the door with some people at Sirius. And then the writing side, I legit just said, one day I was I'm going to start writing. And I wasn't a terribly good writer, but I wanted to start doing it. So I wrote something about offensive line play, and I sent it around to a couple buddies, and SB Nation picked it up. I've been with them ever since. They've been fantastic to work with. The podcast, we've just been kind of building, trying to find the right opportunity to get in on that side. And I had, it's called Geoff Schwartz is Smarter Than You. It's about football mostly. I don't know what else we talk about. Football, we can laugh about Tiger King and stuff like that.
Oh my God,
so,
Tiger King.
Yeah, don't get us started on Tiger King.
It's such a crazy
do a
thing.
whole
Carol's
different
the
show.
absolute worst.
Yeah.
So
I know, right?
Yeah, she's the worst. I mean, yeah, she killed her husband. We all know that.
I know, right?
So, the worst part, by the way,
Allegedly.
real quick before I know we get on a tangent, is that she doesn't realize she's the worst. Like, she thinks she's the best, and she's actually
Yes,
the worst.
yes.
She thinks that, like, her cats look like they were in worse shape than Joe's cats.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
Doctors who did weird doctors, not even an actual doctor.
Well, my favorite my favorite part is when and they don't show it in order, so you don't necessarily connect the dots until you look back on it. But when she starts going on about well, no, you wouldn't put perfume to have a tiger attack them. You'd cover them in sardine oil. It's like, well, that's really thought out
Yeah,
for
it's like
someone that's never done it.
You really thought about that. Miss, I didn't kill my husband.
Yeah, and you also changed his will.
Right.
So,
Wait, it's so weird. There's so many questions about a lot of things.
A lot
in
of
that show.
things.
Sorry. Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
We don't want to go down a huge tangent.
And she's very litigious, so we
So
need to be careful.
I just think being persistent. I'm not a guy that didn't win a Super Bowl. I wasn't a Pro Bowler, and so you win a Super Bowl, you're gifted a job in media if you can just speak, and it just takes persistence, right? Coming up with content, being persistent, having your agent bother people to get you on TV, and just continue to work. And I have no problem putting in the work, so it just takes time, and that's what I've done so far. And there's still a lot more I want to do, and I had some momentum that was kind of blunted by what's happening right now. And again, I hope everyone stays safe out there. And we'll see when hopefully football returns in the summer and we have a full season. And I'll just keep doing what I do. And if opportunities come up, they come up. If not, I'm grateful for what I have.
What
That's
a great
awesome.
attitude.
Yeah.
I really like that.
So
I used to care a lot more about other people getting jobs that I thought I deserved, but it's just it's a waste of time to do that.
That's smart.
there's certain things you just can't control.
Correct.
Like everything right now.
Well, there's that.
No way to control this.
So on all these sports shows, because I'm not a sports guy, right? I have zero interest in sports. My knowledge of football goes to North Dallas 40 and The Longest Yard, the first one, and that's about it.
In other words, he'll always pull some kind of movie thing into
Right,
it.
it's got to be related to pop culture
Okay.
in some way. So, what do you guys talk about right now?
What a great question. Yeah. When you guys do your
With
podcast,
football?
your shows. Yeah.
Yeah, for sports in general, what are the sports shows talking about?
So, all right. So right now the NFL still has their draft in April, so we can still talk about the draft.
Okay.
And this is where you get creative. So it becomes what we call list season, and list season is normally in July in the summer.
Okay.
Time where you rank everything. So top 5 at this position, top 5 this, top 5 that, top 5 jerseys, top 5 places that you go get food in a city, top 5. And you start ranking stuff, and that's how you do it. I mean, my Pac-12 show today, there's no Pac-12 football. All the campuses are closed, right? Spring balls didn't happen. So we did a fantasy draft of offensive players. We do a Mount Rushmore of every school of their founding father, and all this. We try to compare someone to an Abraham Lincoln and a Roosevelt and a Jefferson and a George Washington, and you become creative. We talk a lot about our life. I have 2 young kids. They're 5 and 3. My wife works full time, so she's a nurse. Not at the hospital yet, but I think she's going to end up being there pretty soon. And so we talk about our life and just look forward to the season. You start talking about schedules. So there's the NFL being around still is very helpful. If the NFL was shuttered business, there'd be nothing to do. I mean, there's stuff on the writing side that I've saved that I can just talk about schemes and personnel, stuff like that, kind of get real nitty gritty. And I can find ways to keep talking about stuff like that. But more than 1 hour of radio a day was what we're doing now would probably be a lot, because there ain't much happening. But you make it work. You're people are professionals. I could do a 3-hour show if I needed to. You repeat topics, and the average listener is listening for 7 to 10 minutes. So
Right.
if you do a topic in hour 1, you could
You can
recycle
recycle
it.
it.
3.
Yeah, I used to work in radio, so I totally know. You can like most people, they're listening in their car. So, of course, right now.
But yeah.
Well, yeah, podcast listens, I think I saw we're down like 20% right now because no one's in their car. And I know I've listened to less podcasts over the last couple of weeks than I normally would because no one's in their car.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have a question about your wife riding the bike. When she does ride the bike, like who gets mad at who for having to switch all the settings?
I mean, she gets upset. I don't know. I don't think she gets that upset. I mean, she has to lower the seat, obviously, and take the. I get more upset because I don't want to have to pull off the clips and put on my cages.
Oh,
it's kind
yeah.
of
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
And she's always like, just clip it back in. I go, no, I have to like unscrew the back to loosen it up and to get the cage in. And so I probably get more pissed off. It's easier for her just to take the cage off, snap it off with her foot, and then put, clip in, and then you just lower everything down to where she has to be at. But like I said, she hasn't been on it. I mean, I think she's taking this time to just never work out again. So I'm not sure I have to worry about that at all.
Okay. So I know that your big thing that you've learned about the Peloton is to make it comfortable for you. But is there any advice that you have for people who are just joining Peloton that like you wish you had known day one?
I kind of came into it cocky and figured it'd be easy. But I mean, that's just because that's kind of my mentality, I think, when it comes to athletics. So I would just say that, I think that you just find what you like. I pretty much have figured out what I like now. And of course, there's stuff you can explore, but I really do think it's okay to just kind of make it up as you go. Like, if you don't want to do the rest, then don't do the rest. If you don't want to climb this time, then don't climb. I mean, if you don't want to get out of your saddle, don't do it. I don't feel like you have to be beholden. It should be up to yourself to figure out how hard you need to work or don't need to work. And that's kind of the way I look at it. Like, you just figure out what you want to do on it and then go ahead and do it. I haven't done any of the yoga. I haven't done any of the core stuff. So I don't know how that.
Oh
how
my
that
gosh.
is. I haven't done any of it.
Emma Lovewell's Crush Your Core program is amazing.
Yeah, that sounds like something I don't know.
Well, you said you liked yoga and Pilates, and it has some Pilates-ish moves in it. So you might like
maybe
it.
Maybe I'll give it a try.
It's real quick. You can just add it on 10 minutes to your day.
She's like a sommelier for Peloton.
Okay, I can tell. I'll give it a go. I'll give it a try.
Okay, all right. That's all we can ask.
So, what is your leaderboard name? Are you comfortable sharing that with people or no?
Yeah, it's G Schwartz 7474.
That's awesome. I have no doubt you'll be getting lots of followers if you don't already have them.
I hope so. I have, I don't know, a decent 100 followers or something. So, just
prepare.
At Geoff Schwartz on Twitter, I tweet about when we're going on like the night before. So I'm going to probably do it pretty soon now. Figure out, I think there's 8:30 class tomorrow morning we're going to take together and I'll tweet it out.
That's awesome. And hopefully, since I actually get to work from home starting next week for the next 8 weeks, then maybe I'll be able to join you.
You got to hop in.
Yeah, I'm totally going to. I'm going to be watching. And I'll be following. So
that's one big party. And hopefully I get invited to this Facebook group here and I become the only time I ever go on Facebook.
I love it.
This might confirm your suspicions about Facebook, though.
Yeah, it might.
It's a little weird in there sometimes.
Can't be any worse than what it is.
Yeah, touche. So, well, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day to join us. We really appreciate it.
Glad to be on. It was a good conversation and enjoyed the bike. So thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you. It's been a blast.
Absolutely. So I guess that brings another one to an end. What, pray tell, do you have in store for people next week?
Another awesome treat. We are going to be talking to Tammy Cunnington, who is a Paralympian.
Whoa.
Yeah. She is pretty badass.
You would have to be.
You would.
Yes. So, I guess that is something to look forward to. Until then, where can people find you?
People can find me at facebook.com/Crystal D. O'Keefe. They can find me on Instagram or Twitter on the bike. And of course, the tread at Clip Out Crystal.
And you can find me on Twitter at Roger Kubert or on Facebook at facebook.com/Tom O'Keefe. You can find the show online, facebook.com/The Clip Out. While you're there, like the page, join the group. Of course, wherever you're getting your podcasts, be sure and subscribe so you never miss an episode. And sign up for the newsletter at theclipout.com. So that's it for this one. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, keep pedaling.
And running.
Clip in.